This is Bad Things Well Said about cars.
Welcome, you discerning drivers and possibly soon-to-be former Jaguar enthusiasts, to Bad Things Well Said about cars. This is the only show, really, that bothers to peel back the polished chrome of corporate spin to, expose the glorious, sometimes painful absurdities underneath. Today, we're putting a beloved British marquee under the microscope. Actually, forget the microscope. We might need an autopsy table because, let's be brutally honest, the numbers are in and they're uglier than a Conqueror's Condition E-Type driven straight into a wall of salt.
Indeed. We're talking about a sales implosion so spectacular it practically demands its own dramatic, maybe slightly tragic opera score. It's less a car company right now and more, a performance art piece about corporate self-destruction.
And hey, if you happen to enjoy this unique flavor of automotive commentary, the cynical, the witty, the slightly unhinged, do us a solid. Hit that subscribe button, maybe give us a thumbs up. Your clicks genuinely fuel our ability to keep saying these, bad things. Okay, let's get into it. Today, we're really digging into the very public, very painful self-immolation of Jaguar. We've got the cold, hard data. We've got the utterly bewildering marketing nonsense. We've got enough corporate euphemisms to build a small, very confusing car. All this just to understand how a luxury brand, the brand of grace and pace, managed to sell just 49 cars. 49 in an entire continent in 1 month. Yes, you heard that right. 49. It's almost conceptual art at this point.
It really is. And those headline numbers, they don't just whisper trouble, they slap you across the face. We're talking about a brand that, graced royal driveways, starred in movies, the whole 9 yards. No.
Yeah.
Selling fewer cars in Europe in April 2025 than some decent-sized dealerships shift in a week, maybe even a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's less a car company now and more like a very expensive, very slow, rolling exhibition of corporate melancholy. It's bleak.
And the data doesn't just slap, it delivers a proper knockout. Jaguar's European sales, they plummeted. We're talking 97.5% year over year in April 2025. From nearly 2,000 units down to a paltry 49.
49.
And in the EU specifically, it gets even more theatrical. 38 cars, down from over 600. It's a masterclass in disappearing, like they hired Houdini as a consultant.
So this isn't just a blip, is it? This isn't some unfortunate accounting error.
Oh, absolutely not. This is a trend, a sustained nosediving spiral. Think about it. 180,000 global sales in 2018. Peak Jag, sort of, down to barely 26,000 in the last fiscal year.
46,000 globally.
And while Jag sold those 49 cars in Europe in April, their German rivals, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, they're moving between 50,000 and 75,000 units in the same month.
Ouch. That's not just an ouch. That's like a financial G-force crushing you.
Right. So, faced with this catastrophe, what does the company say? Naturally, there's a narrative. They call it the Reimagine strategy.
Sir William Lyons, our founder, believed Jaguar should be a copy of nothing. That's why we face the future with fearless creativity, unbound by imitation, convention, the expected, showing courage and unwavering determination. Our every act will be a symbol of change. Color shapes how we perceive, interpret, and express the world around us. Striking through imitation and convention, an action that symbolizes courage and unwavering determination. Life's unstoppable force, always pushing us forward. Chiaroscuro, an exploration of light and shade. Creating contrast and volume to create tension, mystery, and intimacy. Championing originality in all its forms. Copy nothing. London Blue, a tribute to British creativity. Inspired by the opalescent silver blue of the 1960s E-Type, reimagined for today. Miami Pink, an expression of Miami's spirit, capturing the city's vibrancy, culture, and diversity.
Catchy, isn't it?
Reimagine. Bankruptcy.
Huh. Well, management spun it as a, quote, calculated pause, a controlled demolition of their near-zero profitability existing models. A phoenix, they actually declared, with presumably straight faces, would rise from these ashes.
A phoenix.
Yeah.
Or just a really, really expensive nap paid for by Land Rover. Because this planned pause, it sounds a lot like voluntary exile from the market. They basically just gift-wrapped their customers, their market share, any shred of visibility they had left, and handed it directly to BMW, Audi, Porsche.
And Polestar. Let's not forget Polestar nipping at those heels.
Right, Polestar too. It's like forfeiting the match because you're too busy redesigning the team jerseys in the locker room, and the jerseys look weird.
And the brutal reality, on the ground, for the dealers, it's grim. We're hearing words like desolate, empty. Like you could film a tumbleweed scene in the showrooms? Seriously. It's an existential threat to their franchise network. Can you imagine running a business with zero product to sell? Just vague promises and a brand message so abstract it makes no sense. It's not a pause, it's a self-induced coma. And the dealers are the ones feeling the side effects big time. Because who needs actual cars when you have a PowerPoint presentation about vividness?
Right, and into this void, this commercial black hole, Jaguar bravely, or maybe foolishly, is the word unleashed its November 2024 rebranding campaign. Codename, Copy Nothing.
Yes, copy nothing.
What could possibly go wrong when a car company, whose entire reason for being is, cars, completely forgets to show any cars in its advertising? It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them. Spoiler, it didn't.
But certainly memorable. In a way, we got these minimalist slogans, live, vivid, lots of androgynous models in vivid settings, a new logo, a sort of futuristic gem.
And the icons. The Leaper, the Growler.
Gone. Poof. Vanished, replaced by what some people, pretty accurately, I think, called a handbag clasp.
A handbag clasp. Because nothing says thrilling performance and British heritage like luggage hardware. Perfect.
It was the design equivalent of replacing the MGM lion's roar with a kitten's purr. Or maybe just the sound of a zipper.
So the goal of all this exuberant modernism, was supposedly to grab a younger, more diverse global audience. The kind of audience that apparently doesn't care about heritage or driving dynamics or maybe even cars at all.
Apparently so. But the public reaction, it was swift and less vivid, more vitriolic.
Yeah, I remember that. Elon Musk just tweeting, "Do you sell cars?"
Ha! Yes, that pretty much nailed it, didn't it? Summed up the whole absurdity. The campaign was instantly tagged woke, accused of pushing some progressive agenda, totally disconnected from, anything Jaguar traditionally stood for or sold.
It felt like an abstract art project searching for a purpose and failing.
And look, it wasn't just online commentators sharpening their knives. This was internal, too. 25 of Jaguar's own designers signed a letter. They were frustrated, called the final direction too rounded and playful, felt left out.
Ouch. When your own team rebels.
Exactly. And the forums, places like Reddit, they went into mourning, loss of heritage, mockery, making Jaguar look like a cheap Chinese AI company. That copy nothing slogan just became this giant, ironic meme. They copied nothing, all right? Including, apparently, common sense.
It really feels less like a marketing stumble and more like an act of deliberate brand demolition.
Yeah.
Like they genuinely thought they could just wipe the slate clean, erase decades of history.
Which fundamentally misunderstands how these heritage brands work. You don't erase the history, you build on it. They probably, as some critics said, destroyed more capital than they built by just chucking out the very things that make Jaguar, well, Jaguar. It's like burning down your ancestral home to build a minimalist tiny house on the ashes. And forgetting the plumbing.
So while Jaguar was busy having this identity crisis, trying to turn itself into an abstract concept, what were the rivals doing? Because, surprise, surprise, the rest of the automotive world didn't just pause politely for Jaguar's existential navel-gazing.
No, definitely not. Take Porsche. They offer a perfect example of how to evolve. They're pushing hard into EVs, sure. Taycan, the new Macan EV, great cars. But, and this is the key, it's within a balanced portfolio. They still sell the 911. They offer hybrids. They adapt.
They adapt to what people actually want to buy. Imagine that.
Right. Their EV strategy is additive. It adds to the brand. It doesn't try to subtract or erase the past. It's pragmatic. It's profitable. It's not some sort of philosophical leap into the unknown.
Exactly. Porsche uses its heritage, its Le Mans victories, everything to give its EVs credibility. They don't pretend the 911 never happened, they use that history. Jaguar's new thing feels like it was generated by an algorithm that's never seen a car.
Yeah.
It's soulless.
And then for a bit of grim perspective, there's Maserati, another brand trying to go electric with their full Gore line. They're doing more gradually EV versions alongside petrol engines. Seems more sensible, right?
More sensible, yes. Still working out for them.
Not really. Despite that gradual approach, Maserati is in deep trouble. Sales down 50% last year. Stellantis, their parent company, just wrote off 1.5 billion euros tied to their EV plans. Billion. With a B.
Wow. Okay, so even the gradual pass is fraught with peril.
Extremely fraught.
Which makes Jaguar's all-or-nothing, burn-the-boat strategy look even more, let's call it adventurous.
Yeah.
It's not just a leap of faith, it's a leap off a cliff, hoping someone invented anti-gravity mid-fall.
And you've still got the German giants looming over everyone. BMW, Mercedes, Audi, they're huge. They can afford to offer everything. Petrol, diesel, hybrid, electric, whatever the market wants, they can supply it. They spread their R&D costs over millions of cars. Jaguar sold, 64,000 cars globally last year? It's not even the same league.
They're playing a different sport entirely. So what is this mythical electric future Jaguar is betting the entire farm on? This JEA platform thing. Jaguar Electrified Architecture sounds very
permanent and inflexible. That's the key takeaway. 3 new models planned, all built on this dedicated EV-only platform. First up is a 4-door GT, supposedly revealed late 2025, hitting roads mid-2026. We'll see.
A 4-door GT.
Claims are, impressive on paper. 430-mile range, a near 1,000 horsepower version. Then later, a large sedan and a large SUV, all sharing the same JEA bones. No room for anything else.
And the price.
Yeah.
Because it sounds expensive.
Oh, you have no idea. Initially, the whispers were over 100,000, maybe 125,000 US now. The talk is a staggering 150,000 pounds. That's nudging $200,000.
$200,000.
Yeah.
For the first model from a brand that basically hasn't existed for years and has zero EV track record, that's not BMW money, that's Bentley money. With what credibility, what brand equity justifies that? The handbag Clask logo?
It's ambitious, let's put it that way. And the managing director himself confirmed it. No flexibility in JEA, no hybrids, no petrol, nothing. A rigid commitment. Just as the global EV market growth slows down and hybrid demand is actually surging.
Perfect timing. Impeccable, really. While everyone else hedges, builds flexible platforms, Jaguar doubles down on the one thing that's looking shaky.
It's a choice. And this whole adventure, this huge bet, is being bankrolled by Land Rover's profits, right?
Yeah, the Golden Goose is apparently funding the kamikaze pigeon. Land Rover keeps churning out cash, Jaguar keeps reimagining ways to spend it, and the justification they use. The Range Rover scenario.
Yes, the Range Rover scenario, which is a complete misreading of why Range Rover works. Range Rover didn't just enter the luxury SUV market, it created it. It owned it for decades, defined it.
Right, it has decades of baked-in equity.
Exactly. Jaguar is trying to parachute into an already crowded ultra-luxury GT space, dominated by Porsche, by Bentley. They're demanding Range Rover prices without anything close to Range Rover's segment-defining status or brand power. It's not strategy, it's hubris. Pure and simple.
So wrapping this all together, the sales crater, the bizarre rebranding, the invisible, super expensive future cars. Is this just another go woke, go broke cautionary tale? Or is it more go completely out of touch with reality, go broke, maybe go inauthentic, go broke?
I think it's crucial to separate things out. Bud Light, for instance. That was a commercial disaster because they alienated their absolute core loyal customers. Sales dropped massively, market cap took a huge hit. They misread their audience. Fundamentally bad business, regardless of these specific content.
Right, targeting the wrong people and losing the ones you had.
Exactly. Disney's issues were more product-specific. Parents didn't like certain themes in Lightyear or Strange World, so they just didn't watch those movies. It wasn't a full-scale boycott of Disney itself, more a rejection of specific products that felt off-brand for their family-friendly image.
Okay, so specific product rejection versus core audience alienation. Got it.
Then you have the counterexample. Yeah. Nike and Colin Kaepernick, remember the Dream Crazy campaign? Boycott calls everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. But their online sales jumped 31%.
Why did that work?
Because it was authentic to Nike's brand. Their whole image is built on rebellion, pushing boundaries, athlete empowerment. Kaepernick fit that mold perfectly. The controversy actually reinforced the brand identity for their target audience. It wasn't alienating, it was affirming.
Okay, authenticity is key there. What about Gillette, the toxic masculinity ad?
That caused a huge online stir, but sales, pretty stable, even grew a bit later. They have market leadership, people buy razors habitually. The brand was strong enough and the product essential enough to weather that storm.
And then there are brands where the activism is the brand, right? Like Patagonia or Ben & Jerry's.
Precisely. For them, it's not a campaign, it's their DNA. That builds incredible loyalty among customers who share those values. It acts as a filter, attracts their tribe.
And just to complicate things, the tech companies pulling back on DEI stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's different again, isn't it? Not consumer backlash.
Right. That seems more driven by political pressure, legal threats, regulatory concerns, a different kind of calculus entirely.
So bringing it back to Jaguar, the lesson isn't simply don't be progressive. It's don't be fake.
Exactly. Inauthenticity is lethal for a brand, especially a heritage brand. And underpinning all of this is just terrible business strategy. Bad strategy will kill you regardless of the ideology. Look at the VW ID. Buzz hype to the moon now looks like a flop. Or the original Ford Edsel. History is littered with these examples.
Yeah, I remember that Chrysler imported from Detroit. Ad, Super Bowl, M&M. Very gritty, kind of political. But it felt real. It tapped into something authentic about Detroit, about Chrysler's struggle. It worked because it felt earned.
Exactly. Earned authenticity. Jaguar's exuberant modernism. It feels bought, manufactured, completely synthetic, and frankly undeserved given their current state. And the market always sniffs out a fake.
So the final verdict on Jaguar's Reimagine, is it Rebirth or Requiem?
Oh, it feels much more like a Requiem right now. It's not a visionary rebirth. It's a desperate, last-ditch gamble born from years of missteps, amplified by marketing that was just bafflingly tone-deaf. It's basically a planned funeral with a very, very expensive and highly uncertain resurrection scheduled for, 2026? Maybe.
So the advice, if anyone at Jaguar is somehow listening through the desolate silence of their dealerships, kill the JEA-only plan. It's strategic suicide. Get flexible. Fire the marketing team who came up with handbag clasp logos and invisible cars. Hire someone who likes cars. Talk to your dealers. Apologize. Rebuild trust. And for heaven's sake, price the new EV somewhere vaguely connected to reality. 100K, 120K maybe, not 200K. And bring back the brand, the leaper, the growler, the history. Don't erase it, leverage it. Authenticity, it's the only path back.
Yeah, pretty much. It's quite a mess. What really stands out to you from this whole saga? Do you think anyone else is watching and learning? Or is the allure of the clean slate just too strong?
That's a chilling thought. And that, dear listeners, wraps up another session of Bad Things Well Said about cars. We hope you found this dissection of Jaguar's current predicament morbidly fascinating. We certainly did. If you appreciate the unvarnished truth, the sharp critique, and maybe just hearing someone say what you're thinking, please do hit subscribe, give us that thumbs up. Your support genuinely keeps us going and allows us to keep pointing out when the automotive emperors have no clothes, or in this case, no cars.
The voices in this podcast were generated by AI. However, all information, facts, claims, concepts, and the script itself were prepared, editorially reviewed, and are the original work of a human author.
Flawless, engineered for nightmares. The truth, unfiltered. Bad things well said about cars. Error.